This generator is called a VanDeGraafGenerator, and it generates static electricity. Inside here is a rubber belt. That rubber belt rubs on a piece of wool in the bottom, strips off electrons. Those electrons then all gather on the outside of the dome. Now, when they gather there, they build up more and more and more charge. In fact, this will build up to about 400,000 volts. That's an awful lot of electricity, but it's really not very much current, so it probably wouldn't hurt you. I'm going to crank it up now, and we're going to see what happens to all of those electrons once they build up on the surface of that dome. Wow. And as you can see, it now jumps across. It creates a spark, and it's jumping from that one to that one. So that's the way that the electrons get from here to here. Have you ever seen anything that looked like that? Lightning, that's right, lightning. Lightning looks exactly the same way. And that's what lightning is. Lightning is a very large static charge. As the rain or the hailstones fall through the clouds, they rub against the water molecules in there, and they create a high static charge. Now, for this next demonstration, I'm going to need a victim. a volunteer. All right? Somebody like to volunteer? Anybody? How about you? Come on up. What's your name? Krista. Okay. Krista, I see you're taking a watch. You need to take the watch off and lay it over here. Do you have a hearing aid or a pacemaker? No? Is your insurance all paid up? Oh, good. All right. What I'm going to do, Krista, is I'm going to ask you to stand on my very expensive insulating platform. I'm going to place it right here in front of the VanDeGraaf. I want you to get up on it and face out that way. Face your class. And reach back now with your right hand and put it on top of the dome. All right? Now, don't remove your hand. If you remove your hand, you could get a small shock. If you don't remove your hand, you won't get a shock. All right? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, Krista, is I'm going to charge your body with 400,000 volts of electricity. Ready? Here we go. Now, as the electricity begins to flow through her body, Krista, look over here. Can you see? Okay, now, don't worry, Krista. When I turn it off, do your head like this, Krista. Oh, good. Don't worry, Krista. When I turn it off, your hair is going to return to normal. Oh, my God. Wait a minute. Let me turn it all the way off. Okay, now, if you'll take your hand off, your hair will go back to... Look at this, Krista. Krista, jump down on the floor and see what happens. All right, okay, good. Let's give her a big hand. Would you hand her watch back to her, please? Okay, thank you very much, Krista. Now let's talk a couple of minutes about the science that was involved here. What happened? Well, you remember I told you that unlike static charges, do what? Unlike attract. Like static charges then behave the same way as like magnetic poles. They repel or they push away. So when Krista put her hand on top of the dome, each individual hair on her head took on the same charge, and when it did, it pushed away or it repelled from every other hair.